Welcome to the Creepin' It Real show, your one-stop shop for weird news, spooky, otherworldly, and paranormal shenanigans. We'll take a dive into what's going on in creepy pop culture. You can follow us on Twitter at creepin_it and like us on Facebook at The Creepin' It Real Show. Do you have a paranormal story you'd like to share with us? You can email us at creepinitrealshow@gmail.com.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Kwanzaa, whatever the wonderful thing, Festivus for the rest of us, all you creepers out there. This is Christy, one of your hosts tonight, today, tomorrow, whatever the hell it is that you're listening. We are cramming a bunch of episodes in so that we can go on the holiday. So here we are, another one. We just had one like a few days ago. So, Yardley, how are you doing this evening?
Hey, I'm good. Ready for the holidays. The weekend's here, so I can't complain.
You have any good holiday plans scheduled?
No, not really. Just not doing much. Kind of want to just relax. Sometimes that's enough.
That sounds actually amazing, and that's not going to happen for me this holiday, and I'm really kind of bummed about it because that's exactly what I need. So, oh well, shit happens. Moni, how are you over in SoCal?
I am good. I have 5 days off in a row starting tomorrow. No relaxing, no really, because family stuff and blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure all you parents of somewhat young kids will feel me. Their kids are batshit right now. They just got out of their last day of school for the next 2 weeks, and they are just like, we decorated cookies, and we have all this candy.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just like downstairs. I'm really happy to be taking solace in recording this podcast right now because they are downstairs building a fort out of God knows what, eating popcorn all over my house, and they're just like vibrating with energy. It's freaking ridiculous.
Yeah.
It looks like the podcast is giving in many different ways, so I'm glad we're able to help you out.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's the school teacher's revenge, like their little revenge for half the year is getting your kids hopped up on sugar before the holidays start. Today was my last day until the 4th. I go back, and I am so stoked. I love my company. They give everybody who travels a lot the entire last, week and a half or whatever of the holidays off paid. So fantastic. Love it. So we're heading up to Chicago, and yeah, I'm excited, but we wanted to throw out one more show before that happens for everybody. So tonight we're going to be talking about a couple of different things, but one of them is definitely why exactly do we want to watch out when Santa Claus comes to town? Well, it's because Krampus is coming to get you. So we're going to talk about that later. And before that, we're going to tackle some weird news. Moni, what the hell? I haven't even looked at yours. I see a Wikipedia link. So that's usually that's unusual for usually it's Florida news or Irish news.
Well, actually, this one isn't weird. I'm very excited about this, but I was inspired because I saw that Yardley posted his news is something that's upcoming. And this is something that I posted to our Facebook page. But our next episode, we will be talking about the man that I firmly believe killed the Black Dahlia. Even if you don't believe that, the evidence is interesting. His life is fascinating. And it's just funny that, I've always been interested in the case, but it's funny that I've kind of been obsessed with it. I went to LA a couple weeks ago and saw some of the sites where she was last seen and all that kind of thing. But this show, try to follow this, y'all. It is coming from TNT, and it's a direct-to-series order produced by Patty Jenkins, the director of the Wonder Woman film. And Chris Pine is also one of the producers and stars in it. And it is called I Am the Night. It's set, I believe, in the 50s, possibly the 60s, probably the 60s. And this part is true. Okay. Try to follow. This guy, Hodel, probably killed the Black Dahlia, but definitely had an incestuous relationship with his own daughter because he was caught, it was proven, he got her pregnant, and she was sent away, had a baby. So this series follows her child, so his grandchild, in her quest to kind of start unraveling her dark past. And obviously she bumps into some of her grandfather's possibly past deeds, not just the Black Dahlia, but he allegedly killed a couple other women because whomever did kill the Black Dahlia, that was not a first or only time killing. You know, that had to have been a serial. There was a couple other unsolved murders that were similar in Los Angeles at the time. So this series looks really well done. I'm very excited about it, and hope y'all can catch the trailer, which again is on our Creepin' It Real Facebook page right now.
I'll definitely have to check that out.
Yeah, and you know what else is cool is when you have producers or directors who keep bringing back talent that they've worked with before, so that familiarity lets them know what they're going to get. So, you know, a lot of times those things work out. So,
of course, because Chris Pine was in Wonder Woman, in case those of you who don't know, and Patty Jenkins directed it, so she knows him.
And he's adorable.
He really is. By the way, Christy, speaking of him being adorable, I hear he shows Full Frontal in the latest, is it a Netflix series that he just did?
Really?
So, yeah, you'll have to check that out.
What kind of series is that?
So it's the Outlaw King. It's Robert the Bruce or something like that is the character that he plays.
Oh, that I am stoked. Okay,
a period piece with a period penis. Yes.
Period piece and period penis. By the way, the last time we did our show, I was talking about the Clove Hitch Killer, and I was halfway through, and I finished it, and it is an absolute definite recommend if you like true crime. It was good. I really liked it. So if you guys can get your hands on it, do it. I saw it off iTunes Movies. Again, I think it was like $4. It was good. So definite recommend when you're talking about unsolved mysteries or murderers and serial killers. That triggered that one I had just seen, so I had to throw that in there. Oh, Yardley, you're speaking my language. Jordan Peele's new movie looks pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah, well, Jordan Peele's coming out with a movie in March of 2019. It's called This Is Us, and it is a horror movie, and Entertainment Weekly had released the first looks, photographs of the movie. Now, very little information about what this movie was going to be about wasn't really out previously. So there's finally a synopsis, and the synopsis says the story is set in the present day and follows Adelaide and Gabe Wilson, played by Lupita Nyong'o and Winston Duke, as they take their kids to Adelaide's old childhood beachside home in Northern California for the summer. After a day at the beach with the Tyler family, which includes Elizabeth Moss and Tim Heidecker, Adelaide, who's haunted by lingering trauma from her past, becomes increasingly more paranoid that something bad will happen to her family. As night falls, the Wilsons see four figures holding hands and standing silently at the bottom of the driveway. And Jordan Peele had responded that for his second feature, he wanted to create a monster mythology. Now, the information that was out before, I'd never read anything about a monster, so he was basically saying that he wanted to do something that was more firmly in the horror genre, but still held on his love of movies that were twisted and fun. So, you know, with him dipping his toe into this a little deeper, he does have an opportunity to have a iconic movie monster that people will be talking about in the future. So I think that might be kind of scary for him, but I'm glad that he decided to go to monster route. I have no idea from the pictures how that's going to work into it, but I'll give it a chance. I mean, he's at least earned enough goodwill for me to say, hey, I'll check it out.
I am so here for Jordan Peele to be in horror, like a horror movie director, writer, whatever. I am all for it. I'm excited because I love, again, one of my favorite movies is Get Out. So I think that was basically, you know, that humans are monsters. I mean, you can look, monsters can be icky, scary, hairy, teethy, clawy, or they can just be people that look like gorgeous, everyday people and are monsters. So I could see him pulling this one off too.
Yeah, what you think, Mona? I mean, 2019 seems like it's going to be stacking up with a lot of pretty good horror movies.
2019 is definitely looking up. Jordan Peele, was it producing The Candyman? Is that going to be 2019 or was that 2020? Do we remember at all?
It's probably 2020.
Okay, I was just curious. I'm like, if he's too busy, then you don't want any of the projects to kind of like drop a little bit. But if you're doing one a year, that's pretty fucking good. So.
Yeah. Yeah, you can get down with that. Surely, don't stretch your brilliance too thin, Peele.
Yeah. He became like
think,
Ryan Murphy with some of the shit that was going out for a while in Glee and that Scream Queens and some of the crap. So, yeah.
But some of this stuff, I'm pretty sure that he has a lot of things that he's kind of had the template for a while, because, I mean, the whole Get Out thing, he was talking about that ages ago. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think that some of this stuff, he has probably a pretty good launching pad to get started on. But yeah, I definitely look forward to it. Mainly to see how Winston Duke would do in a horror movie.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I just wanted to put this one in because it's actually a kind of a cool opportunity. And Moni, I thought of you because it's in LA, and if you ever make it that over to LA again, it's something I think you might want to check out. Actually, Anthony Bourdain did a show on this, actually in Sweden, because it originates in Sweden, but it's the Disgusting Food Museum. It's on tour right now, and there's some fucked up shit in this thing, like mice wine, bull testicles. And then they also have American foods that people across the globe think are nasty, which is root beer and Jell-O salad, which I can totally say Jell-O salad is nasty.
Yeah, that's...
But there is all kinds of crazy food in there, and there's pictures, and they encourage you to touch it, and so...
you know what people don't eat in other countries that we eat here is... ketchup. People think that ketchup is nasty. They say it's just like a garbage condiment, because it is. It's just sugar and like water and shit. So tomato paste. But I'm clicking on it right now to see how much the tickets cost.
It's like $15. It's nothing.
Yeah.
That'd probably be cool.
So do you eat it, or do you just like look at it?
You smell and touch. And there's fermented reindeer,
maggot cheese from Sardinia, frog smoothies from Peru.
Yeah.
The picture nasty. Here is definitely, I think it's a crocodile eye of some sort coming out of a
sheep's
beverage.
Eye.
I'm not really sure.
Eye.
Oh, sheeps have the creepiest eyes, y'all. They are goats, like they have like demon eyes. It's so creepy.
Yeah,
no,
it's crazy.
Also, no, and no, and I'm not. You can pay me $15 to not go. And save my gas.
All right, then, Treepers, if you guys go, anybody who's in the LA area, I want to hear about it. Yeah, because I'm intrigued for sure.
That's funny. I'm just laughing at the fact you said Jell-O salad. I don't even think I've seen one of those since like the early '80s. Oh, those things are horrendous.
Some people consider it like a staple of the holidays, and no. Like, I eat Jell-O if I'm in the hospital. Otherwise, I don't want to see Jell-O, like, ever.
Yeah.
Rick, when he had the flu really bad, that's what he wanted, grapes and Jell-O. Like, not together, but, like, separately. That because he was so dehydrated. He's like, I just want grapes. And, exactly. He was pregnant with a flu bug. And then Jell-O. That was all he wanted. So it was for the first time, I was buying Jell-O. It was weird. I was like, ugh.
Well, unfortunately for me, Bill Cosby and Jell-O are kind of like synonymous. So I definitely no Jell-O, thanks.
Also, a side note, I wanted to say that I did find out, and I don't know if we talked about that he was Godejohn from the Gypsy Rose case was actually found guilty of first-degree murder. We were kind of debating on if the trial had ended. Yeah, sentencing will be in February. So he was officially the trial ended, and he was officially I guess they debated, or whatever you call it. The jury was out for 2 hours. And,
I mean, he admitted to doing it, right?
Yeah.
So
there's the question of his mental illness and stuff, and they agreed with the prosecutor. What are you going to do? I mean, I don't know. It's a hard case to deal with, I think that's why they were talking about the struggle that's going to be wrapped around the sentencing, how that's going to work. So. In the meantime, I just saw an article that Gypsy Rose is getting her GED. I mean, the poor girl couldn't even go to school, so she's finally at least getting her high school-ish diploma. So that was a little side note. We did ask about that. Who was it that said they thought it was Yardley? I didn't look to see if that show that you had daydreamed on whiskey.
Show.
I totally didn't even follow.
I was just listening today. I'm like, I wonder if he followed up on that.
I totally didn't, because the last show we did not too long ago, and I think I was just in work mode, wait for the weekend, and didn't think about it again.
Holiday mode. It's all good. Yeah.
It's getting so much press. It'll pop up when it's time. So I'm not too worried about nailing that down. Or it's at the bottom of Yardley's whiskey bottle. We shall find out real soon. So I did mention that we are going to talk about the origins of Krampus. I did assign us the movie Krampus just because, shockingly, the movie is kind of pretty closely correlated with the folklore of Krampus. I was kind of impressed about that. I had seen the movie years ago when it first came out and was kind of like, but I love Toni Collette.
Really? So you're talking the 2015 film. Okay, so I love that film, and it's actually on my like Shaun of the Dead, Love Actually, totally different genre, and Krampus, actually, this Krampus are my go-to must-watch every holiday season. I love this movie because it's not just that it's scary, though it has its moments. It's got some humor. I totally relate to it because it's fucked up family stuff that we'll talk about too, but and then it's kind of sweet too. So it kind of has, it's kind of like Shaun of the Dead, but not as good. But I mean, it has a little bit of everything in it, you know.
I was kind of disappointed with the reveal of Krampus. I was like, that's what he looks like. He looks like, I just wasn't impressed, and that kind of fucked it up for me because it was at the very end, and it's like, okay, bring it home, and it was like, that's what he looks like. But I got over it. I watched it again this time around, and I just knew that was coming, so it was fine. And I had already had the education of Krampus, and I was like surprised because it was, first of all, I absolutely adore Toni Collette, and she apparently is right up my alley because she loves thrillers and horror movies, apparently, because she chooses to be in quite a bit of them. I mean, she's got Fright Night, The Dead Girl, Hereditary, to name a few. There's a couple others that I couldn't name, but I'm impressed that somebody with her talents kind of like
chooses the horror films.
Yeah, and these especially. This is B-ish. This is a B-ish quality in the way that they combine humor with the horror, and so it does seem like a modern day Gremlins to me. That was kind of what I affiliate it to, which I adore Gremlins. So it was like, and I remember being a kid watching Gremlins and like sneaking watching it and being scared. Like I thought, I've seen some pretty fucked up stuff, even young, still scared me. So I was thinking this would have probably been a surprise scare for me too, because it is there are times that kind of catches you off guard. Yeah. So I'll just give you my overall thoughts, and then we can discuss y'all's and everybody else's,
Well, real quick, Yardley hasn't seen it. Yardley, have you seen Trick or Treat?
No, I haven't. I have not.
Okay, because I was going to say, this kind of reminds me of it a little bit.
Well, that's because it's the same guy.
The thing that made me want to watch this was because of Toni Collette being in it. I mean, I remember we discussed trying to watch it, but I didn't get a chance to, but I was kind of excited. So kind of hearing people hearing Christy say that they didn't stick the landing is makes me worry, but I feel like I have to watch it.
The ending, it was fine. It was just, for me, hit the way Krampus looked. I've seen better makeup on the parade people that I was looking at in the German parades that they have for Krampus that we'll discuss later. So that was why I was kind of like, but I was impressed with the fact that they really stuck to the folklore of Krampus. With the Jack in the Box, that's a famous thing with Krampus. The helper, like demons, the chains. I was impressed by that. They did stick with some of that. It was co-written and directed by Michael Dougherty, who also gave us Modern Halloween and Trick or Treat. So you will see his style here.
The cartoonishness of like the demons and all the little creatures that travel with Krampus is like, they're still scary, but they're kind of cartoonish. It's kind of neat.
Yeah, and like you discussed, the family dynamics are really funny. Toni Collette plays into that really well, and it's funny because at the beginning I kind of forgot she was in this, and I almost didn't recognize her like at the beginning, just because she plays such a like staunch, like professional, like you just don't. And then as you get into it, you're like, oh yeah, that's Toni Collette. Like I kind of forgot. And then Adam Scott's in it, and he's really good. I mean, he's been in so many movies, but he's always the like side piece. Like he's never like the headliner. So he's been in a ton of movies. So I mean, he did great. One of my favorite characters was David. I don't know if I'm going to say his name right. Koechner, who plays the brother-in-law, like the redneck brother-in-law, and he was freaking hysterical. Yes. He's like, "What's going on upstairs?" And like, you don't want to know. He's like, "I just got my ass kicked by a bunch of Christmas cookies. Try me." I mean, it was hysterical. He was really funny. So he was. Yeah, I found a newer appreciation for it watching it this time.
So, good.
Moni, what do you think?
Oh, I'm just saying, oh, good, because it's one of my, like I said, one of my staples is, every year now with this one. But I just kind of like how it has the sweet element, too, of like, spoiler for Mr. Yardley, but, how the kid learns to value his family.
Right.
Through them all being butchered in front of him. You know what I liked about it that was creepy, too? They didn't pull any punches. Like, there are small children, and the small children get killed. And I liked also that the storm, it's like every time how they look out the window, how they have the snowmen coming closer and closer and things like that. Yeah. And there's moments of like such helplessness where you have this family that's now bonded together by this, that are like surrounded, and it's a completely helpless situation of they're going to be killed and dragged to hell on top of everything else. Like I liked it. I think it had some creepy moments. I think it hits you in the feels a little bit with how much this kid like learns about the actual Christmas spirit. I definitely, like I said, relate to some of the family stuff where you're trying so hard to make everything nice to have your crazy family come over, and there's a bunch of redneck assholes who are going to like complain no matter what you do. And you're just like, I like when Toni Collette was just like, well, fine, we'll just, I just fucking won't do this anymore. And you can just put your feet up on the table and do whatever you want.
Yeah. One thing, and major spoiler, sorry Yardley, but most of everybody else who's probably listening to this has seen the movie. The movie poster pisses me off because it reveals like the end of the movie. So I'm kind of like, fuck you. Which I knew. I knew when he woke up and he looked out the window, I was like, here it is. I knew with the first time I watched it, and that is one of the things that really pissed me off. But otherwise, it's a good movie. I mean, it wasn't like you've ruined the movie. It was just one of those things where I was like, yep, there it is. It's exactly what they showed. So, but I mean, I rate movies, especially horror, out of 10 because 5 is way too, like, I need, like, even more in-depth rating systems.
More range.
I know I sound like a total asshole, but I would give it a 6. I would give it a 6.75 out of a 10. I definitely enjoy it, and I will watch it again. It'll probably be one of my Christmas staples for sure.
There you go. It's an 8 for me, honestly. There's still, when I watch it, I'm kind of like, whoa, that's like, the stakes are pretty high on this one. The whole family's about to die. And I like, the part where they're out in the snow and they're all being taken and they're like, I love you, don't be scared. And they're, oh my God, like right in the fields, man.
For each other, yeah.
And I just think the added horror, like dying is bad enough, and they're dying badly, like being eaten or whatever else. But then it's like they're going to hell. Yeah. Like, holy shit, like what does your family do to deserve being eaten alive by some fucking Christmas cookie and then being dragged to hell by all these creatures? Like it's kind of a creepy concept.
It is very creepy, and again, shocking that they stayed true to all of that. I was impressed. Also, Moni, just like 3 days ago, I watched Shaun of the Dead. It just never gets fucking old, ever.
It doesn't.
Sorry, topic change,
it's an almost
but
perfect film, honestly.
One of my tops, Zombieland.
It's
Shaun
hilarious.
Of the Dead.
It's so sad. Good. Yeah.
It's so good. No, it's hysterical. I love it. All the assholes die. A couple of the good ones die, but
I got red on you.
It's funny. The pen, yeah.
Yardley, do you have favorite Christmas horror films? Because I have a couple others, but I want to hear what yours are.
Okay.
Horror films?
Yeah, Christmas horror.
Wow. I have a lot of horrible Christmas films.
What's that?
Home Alone.
But I mean,
if you rewatch it.
Well, a lot of people, there's like this kind of a debate about Gremlins and whether or not it's a movie. I think it is.
Movie. I think Gremlins.
So Yeah, so for me, I'm just going to ride with Gremlins because I have all of the movies. I like them.
Yeah.
I had on Gremlin socks 2 days ago. You know what I
Nice.
mean? So I'm all about the Gremlins.
I actually had never, you guys are going to kill me, especially someone doing a podcast in the horror space. I had never seen Gremlins in entirety.
What?
And it's because it came out, I think, in 82. I was born in 83. And I was too little. Like, my parents
No
didn't let me
way.
watch that shit when
It
I was that
wasn't
little.
that old. It's not that old. Am I that old?
It's not?
Am I that
Let
old?
me
You
look.
cannot tell me I am that old. I will cry.
Gremlins.
84. 84.
84.
Close enough. Close enough.
I
You
was-
were a year old.
1 years old. And
I was
so 2
8.
years difference. I'm glad you feel better.
I was 8.
But yeah, I was too little. Like, it was popular, but nobody would let me watch it. I know the concept, obviously, like it's so ingrained in pop culture and in the horror space. But I was watching part of it the other day. I was like, this is fucking creepy. And my husband's
That's
like,
a
you've never seen
great
this? I'm like, no,
movie.
I still have
Oh.
never sat down and watched the whole thing.
Yardley, I'm with you. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Totally. And also Black Christmas. I really love Black Christmas. It's an
That
anthology.
one came out in the 70s and it's still good. And then they remade it and that was pretty good too.
The remake was good too. I liked them. Yeah, I like both of them. So I would have to say those are my Christmas go-tos.
Those are my,
Yeah.
Black Christmas. 100%.
Yep.
Either one.
I mean, I liked the did Gremlins 2, it happened the following Christmas, right? Or am I tripping? Or it was on Christmas because I think, gosh, did it, Christy? Do you
What
remember?
do you mean? What, it came out at Christmas?
Well, no, you remember we were considering
1990,
Gremlins
the
to
new
be a
batch?
Christmas
That
movie,
was
and a lot of
8
the
years later.
themes that were in it were around Christmas.
Absolutely.
But didn't Gremlins
It
2?
was all
But didn't
Christmas.
Gremlins 2 take place like a year, or
shit.
was it longer? Do you remember?
I can't remember.
So
just
Gremlins
wondering
2
if
came
it's a
out in
Christmas second.
1990. As far as when it was set, though, so you're thinking it was set like.
Yes, like the first one was actually during the holidays, during the Christmas season. So I was trying to remember if Gremlins 2 was also
I'm looking it
set
up now.
the kicks.
I'm shocked that it took 6 years to have a part 2. Wow.
That is weird.
I'm not quite sure I've seen part 2.
Really?
Yeah.
I think the part two was the one where one of the Gremlins was singing, I think, "My Way" or something.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, because they're in they're in like a newly erected skyscraper.
Like a sexy gremlin kind of too.
I kind of remember this now because there was like, was it still under construction or no?
I mean, some of that was going on. There were things that were going on outside, but I think that this is the one where they were all in that building, and it had like the Marilyn Monroe gremlin, I think, was it, or something.
Oh,
or something. Yeah,
it
was funny.
Yeah, I agree. That's definitely, to me, when I think of Gremlins, I think of Christmas. So definitely. What about you, Moni? Besides Black Christmas and Krampus, you have any others?
For Christmas time and Shaun of the Dead, not really. I mean, Love Actually, which is obviously not meant to be a horror piece, but you could argue that some of the drama that takes place within is pretty horrific.
Well,
that's a joke, y'all. But yeah, that's pretty much the rotation is like Love Actually. Now I might have to add Gremlins and Krampus, and then I haven't gotten my Black Christmas fix. I feel like there's another one on the tip of my tongue that I'm not thinking of. Jack Frost is no good.
Yeah, I never watched that. I was going to say I never seen Jack Frost.
Jack Frost is junk.
Yeah.
You know what? Talk amongst yourselves. I will Google and see if there's any more that we have seen.
Okay, I mean, I don't know what else to say. La la la. Hello, Yardley. Okay, Yardley, I have a question for you.
All right.
What is your all-time favorite horror movie? Like, in first thought.
Remember one. Sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, it's Return of the Living Dead.
Okay, that is your all-time favorite. Okay.
Yep.
Moni?
What the fuck is it called? Okay. There's a semi-new within the last 10 years horror movie where all these teenagers, this is not going to describe it at all. You might have to cut this part out. Fuck. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm looking for it because
what about that movie where they gather for what about You're Next?
Yes, that's the one I was thinking of.
Really?
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Where they gather for the holidays.
It's got hot people.
Yeah.
It's got people gathered for the holidays that get killed. It's got people wearing spooky ass fucking animal masks. It's a thing, man.
And there was another movie I watched, and shit, I can't think of the name of it, where the kids like turn on the parents. That shit freaked me the fuck out. I mean, it was like
Village of the Damned or whatever, is it? Or
what?
Not Village of the Damned, is it?
No. It was recent. And
Silent Night, Deadly Night.
No. It wasn't like that. It was like a it might have been a European film or something. Maybe not, but
there's a German zombie film that's not bad at all. That's all set in like the snow.
No, this
we should have
one
had our
is
ducks.
Turns on parents. Like I'm Googling it because it was fucked up. Like I was kind of like the kids literally killed.
Dead Snow.
That is that? No, that's not it.
No. Sorry, another one that I like is Dead Snow.
Nazis, right?
Yes, zombie Nazis.
I'm looking.
This is a very professional show, y'all.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, I mean, I'm just like,
they don't care.
Whatever,
they don't care.
It's like,
they know us
fine.
by now.
Now I can't think of the name of it.
Real professional operation all around.
It was like an indie film, and they were all coming. It was like European. Oh well. Anyway, it's good if you see a description of a movie where it's like the kids like get sick and then start killing their parents, like that's
nice.
Watch it because it's good. It's over the holidays and it's snowy.
30 Days of Night, based off the graphic novel, is not a very good movie, really. Unfortunately, it's got Josh Hartnett in it, though.
That's good.
But it's winter themed because obviously it takes place in Alaska.
I mean, it's not Christmas, but definitely winter for sure.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't have to be Christmas because it's Happy Holidays, not Merry Christmas. River being
There's
PC,
supposed to be a 30 Days of Night Part 2 where they go somewhere else, and I can't think of where they're going, but I heard somewhere.
They would need to do a better job for me to be interested, though.
All right. Let's get to the origins of Krampus. The origins. In ancient times, a dark, hairy, horned beast was said to show up at the door to beat children and carry them off in his sharp claws. The Krampus could be heard in the night by the sound of his echoing cloven hooves and his rattling iron chains. The strangest part was that he was in league with Santa Claus.
The mythical Krampus is meant to whip children into being nice. Originally a pagan figure, Krampus was tied to the Christian holiday of St. Nicholas. The two came to represent the good and evil ideology, like God and the devil. Krampus is said to be the son of Norse goddess Hel, who rules over the realm of the dead. He is usually depicted as half goat, half human. The name Krampus is derived from the old German word Krampen, meaning claw.
During the 12th century, the Catholic Church attempted to banish Krampus celebrations because of his resemblance to the devil, but none of it held, and Krampus emerged as a much-feared and beloved holiday force. Origins of Santa. Today's image of Santa Claus is vastly different from the one that many believe was the inspiration behind the icon in the first place. Far from being a rotund, jolly man with rosy cheeks that is instantly recognizable today, the Turkish monk St. Nicholas was much more humble-sounding man. While his exact date of birth isn't known, it is generally assumed to have been around 250 AD in Patara, which was, at the time, in a town called Myra.
Which, funny, Moni, we've already done the grim as fuck fairy tales, but damn.
Yes.
Krampus really does fit in well with them. Holy crap.
Yes.
Stories of his incredible generosity, we're talking about St. Nick, have become something of legend over the centuries. This most pious of people has reportedly used his own inherited means to donate to the less fortunate. Other accounts state that he would often travel the country and help the poor and or infirm whenever and wherever he could. Some of these tales are better known than others, but surely one of the most often recounted story concerns three sisters who were at risk of being sold into slavery by their very own father. St. Nicholas provided each sister with a personal dowry so that she may find herself a groom to take care of her. It was this and many other similar stories that led to Nicholas's increase in popularity. Over time, he became better known as the sole protector of children and sailors. Such was his appeal and fame in early Turkey that the 6th of December, the date of his death, is St. Nicholas's Day. This is an auspicious day for people to buy something big or seal a matrimony.
During the Renaissance, St. Nicholas was easily the most popular saint in the whole of continental Europe, and he survived the Protestant Reformation while other saints did not. St. Nicholas is well known nowadays, as he had always been, particularly in the Netherlands. In December 1773 and the following year, a newspaper in New York ran a story about several local Dutch families that got together on the anniversary of Nicholas's death to celebrate his life. This was the saint's first appearance in American culture. The title of Santa Claus stemmed from this original report. In Dutch, Sinterklaas translates as Saint Nicholas, and the name stuck.
Krampus Night is celebrated in parts of Eastern and Central Europe, including Austria, Germany, and the Czech Republic. They exchange Krampus cards and dress in elaborate outfits as their own interpretation of Krampus. There's a parade in Krampus's honor where kids stand in line and cry as the parade goes by. Jesus, yeah, her face in this document. We should post it.
Her little face, she's like terrified. I would be too. I was scared of Santa when I was a kid. Can you imagine sitting on that guy's lap? Oh my gosh.
Oh, that picture's gold to parents, I bet.
She's like
yeah.
On December 5th, it is said that Krampus pays a visit to all the naughty children. That makes sense because my kid was born the next day. Tagging along with St. Nicholas, Krampus visits the houses all night with his saintly pal, while St. Nick is on hand to put candy in the shoes of good kids and birch twigs in the shoes of the bad. Krampus's particular specialty is punishing naughty children.
I highlighted to put candy in the shoes of good kids because
that is a weird tradition.
I would figure that would be the Krampus punishment because I fucking hate feet. So if you put my candy in my shoes, it would be like a punishment to me as far as I'm concerned. That's disgusting. Like, why? Can you imagine back then too? Because their shoe, it's not like they have like 40 pairs of shoes like we do. Like we don't wear our shoes every day like they did, and they got candy in their shoes. That's nasty. I'm sorry, but I died when I read that. My foot, I was like, oh, oh, gross. I used to touch my kids' feet, and I'd be like, "You're lucky because feet are disgusting. Like I
feet
cannot.
Are disgusting.
I'm disgusted by my own feet, let alone my shoes.
Where I grew up, we used to find scorpions in our shoes, so I feel like this is a step up from that.
Not surprised. I grew up in New Mexico. They're everywhere, girl.
Yes.
I got stung on the toe by a scorpion when I was a kid. Yeah.
Ugh.
Hell yeah. I had to go to the hospital. But
Nightmare.
shoes and feet are nasty. Please don't put my candy, hard-earned candy, in my shoes. Thank you. Maybe that's why they decided to switch it over to like stockings, which that's just as bad as far as I'm concerned. So if they were worn, but anyway, I digress. Sorry. I highlighted that because I was like, oh, hell no. Krampus carries chains and birch sticks to whip kids into shape and a sack to carry kids away into the underworld to be tortured or eaten. Seriously? Wow. The creature has become so popular in recent times that he has a comic book series and parties of his own that have moved to the U.S., including Krampusnacht Festival held in Orlando, Florida. So,
nice.
Yeah. So that is Krampus. And I'm kind of impressed, and I think that we need to move some more Krampus parties. I could totally get down with having a Krampus party.
You know what? We should skip the elf on the motherfucking shelf and just have like a Krampus doll to remind kids like, he ain't going to report to no good Saint Nick about you. He's going to just drag you to hell his damn self.
He's going to go to Krampus, and Krampus is going to throw you in a sack and eat you. So
I read some dipshit psychology article that was like, oh, Elf on a Shelf is bad for kids because you shouldn't try to control them with the thought that someone's watching them in case they're naughty and reporting on them. And I was like, first of all, how do you control kids? Beat them? I don't know. But I feel like Krampus could cover like all of that for us. He would definitely make sure that the kids are in line.
Yeah, I mean, like this Gris von Krampus picture I shared is a Christmas card from literally the year 1900.
You're kidding, it's a fucking Hallmark card today. It's awesome.
People sent that, and it's like this devil Krampus demon shoving a kid in a sack, and the other one's like, I have apples.
That's probably a card for the kid, for the parents. They're just like, yes, put that shitty kid in the sack, take him away.
Really, though.
Yeah, but why is the girl there just chilling?
I know,
she was
like,
good,
I have
man.
apples.
She doesn't have anything to worry about.
She's got some apples, and it's like, I don't even care what's going on behind me. And that little boy.
And then the little boy being picked up by his ears and licked.
And always with the tongue, too, right?
Like,
Krampus has the tongue coming out.
And when I remember first seeing the Krampus movie, and I remember him opening his mouth and the tongue coming out, and I was like, really?
Yes.
Is that necessary? And then I saw the cards, and I'm like, well, I guess so. So I watched it again, and I was like, yeah. Because it was so, like, see, Yardley, we're doing you a service.
I'm just thinking of you as a kid and Krampus coming in with that tongue and you being like, is that necessary?
Look, eat me or
it
don't.
is weird, though.
Like, yeah, go big or go home, Krampus. Like, eat me or don't. But the tongue's ridiculous. The shoes, no. Like, birch sticks, really? Come on. Like, get me in that underworld or don't, dude. But that's nasty.
What if he had feet at the end of his tongue?
Wow. How many?
Because you would just shit twice and die. You wouldn't even have to bother taking her.
And are they clean? And then where are they going exactly? Like on my face? Then hell no,
would just
I would pass
out. Just grouse at him until he said, "Fuck it, I give up. I'm not even going to take this chick to hell." Like it's not
even worse than feet is if he had soggy cereal on the end of his tongue. I would straight up.
You're just going to be like, "This fire and brimstone stinks." And why aren't your feet cleaner?
Just eat me. Just
like,
eat me. If you're going to let cereal get soggy,
no,
just
it's
eat
a
me.
long tongue with a foot at the end with soggy cereal in between the toes.
No.
You know what? One of the Leprechaun films, doesn't he call the chick and she answers the phone and his tongue comes through?
That's Nightmare on Elm Street.
No, that was Hell. What wasn't it? It was another
Nightmare on
movie.
Elm Street.
Okay, that's right. Nightmare on Elm Street.
All right, creepers, name that reference. I feel like it happened in both.
I feel like it happened more than once. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It might have, but Nightmare on Elm Street penned it, man. They penned it. They made it. They made it what it is.
Okay,
right?
Well, we can agree on that for sure.
And
it had Johnny Depp. It had marryable Jack Sparrow level Johnny Depp.
And it had a bed of blood.
Call back
going
to our
up
last
to the
episode,
ceiling.
y'all.
Yeah. All right.
On that note.
Well, I mean, we're kind of finishing up early, but I mean, I think that's pretty cool because, hey,
you're getting an episode over the holidays. You're welcome, guys.
I still got to edit this shit and post it. So
a lot of hard work Googling shit while we're talking.
That's right. And then talking about nonsense and then talking about soggy cereal, which if anybody has, like me, a phobia of soggy cereal, there is a bowl and it has 2 levels and a slide, and you put your cereal at the top and you put your milk at the bottom and you partially slide a little bit of your cereal down into the milk at a time.
And you said I was type A, which I am,
and
but
it's
oh my
really
God.
good. And you just, then it never gets soggy.
Well, you would be dead in my house because my kids eat before I come downstairs, and I come down and there's soggy cereal like every morning.
Dude, I go visit my family and they have kids and they like pour their cereal. They pour the kids cereal and the kids just sitting there, and then they pour the milk and they walk away and the kids just sitting there. Yep. And they walk away, and the cereal's sitting there, and I literally have the cold sweats. I'm like, oh, God, eat your cereal. It's going to get soggy. Like, I freak out. I really do. Like, I don't know
Christy
why.
Say don't serve cereal because my kids will wander around like cattle instead of eating their cereal.
Or just let me sleep in and calm me down once the cereal's been disposed of. So
I feel like the moral of this episode is kids are no damn good. They make soggy cereal. They have stinky-ass feet, and Krampus should come take them all.
That's true. Krampus, come on, Krampus. Yardley,
so on that note, do we want to talk about the next episode?
Yeah, we can go there.
Yeah. Ooh, it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, so as I teased at the top of the hour, we are going to talk. I'm not going to talk multiple Black Dahlia theories because I've made up my mind, and I'm going to convince you why you should think the way that I do, because that's really a healthy outlook on life, is just to want everyone to think the way you do. And I think I know who killed the Black Dahlia. I think you'll believe me at the end of this. And I did not crack this case. His own son cracked this case. It's a fascinating fucking story. I have alluded to it, talked a little bit about it. It's related to I Am the Night. So I think it's timely because we are going to be recording the first week of the new year. The episode should drop that week. And it looks like this new series is going to come out the week after. So also, you're welcome, y'all. You'll be educated on the background of this story and why it's extremely interesting, even if this guy Hodel did not kill Elizabeth Short, aka the Black Dahlia. He was a convicted criminal with a lot of connections, and his life story is fascinating. So enjoy and be excited.
Awesome.
That sounds amazing.
You sound all dreamy.
I know, right?
That I think we're just as excited as our kids. We're just like, wee, Christmas, we're done recording.
Instead of hopped up on sugar, I'm hopped up on wine.
Fine. That should help you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. We had a Christmas party yesterday. So today there was like kegs left and a bunch of wine. And man, I went in that kitchen like around, at the end of the day. And I just, grabbed a couple of bottles of wine and sashayed out of there. So I'm doing that too.
I don't
Like a
blame
buffet
you.
of different alcohol. Just go down the line.
For me, you have a good boss because I got a bonus, I got a raise, and then she still also put a really kick-ass bottle of Chardonnay on my desk as a Christmas present.
God.
And I was like, hell yeah.
I'm in the
She
wrong
know me.
industry. I got a death threat for Christmas. I got a guy that wanted to fight me outside. Like,
Oh
I'm
my
in
God,
the
you're
wrong
like, Merry
industry.
Christmas! Yay!
Yay!
Oh, honey. Yeah, that sucks. I really do feel for you guys. I mean, I just hearing the stories all the time. I don't think that's what you signed up for when you decided to become librarians. Like, you think
No,
of
but we're
quiet
helping people.
books.
The people that do use the library well, which is literally over 1,000 a day,
Good.
and that's what makes it all worthwhile. So as silly as I get about it and as glamorous as it is not, it is important work and I believe in it. And I salute you. I'm going to pour one out for all my librarian homies.
Pouring out for the homies of
Yeah.
libraries, emergency responders, and everybody that doesn't get a break this holiday season. Thank you for everything that you do. I hope you're listening, and if you are, give us a shout out because we love hearing from you guys. It's so funny. I just love hearing from everybody. It tickles me and just makes me happy because we have all these numbers, and I'm like, who are you people? Come talk to me.
Excuse me, my type A has goals. Speaking of listeners,
Oh,
I
okay.
think I posted it on our Twitter. I guess it's not posting. I tweeted it, whatever the fuck. Anyway, the most listened to podcast per state. First of all,
right.
I even have little kids. Raise your hand if you even knew that they have podcasts for parents with their little kids. That sounds terrible.
Why would you
I'm
wanna
sorry.
do
No
that?
disrespect to those of you who put that content out there, but I would not listen to that because I don't listen to Radio Disney. I don't listen to kid music in the car, and they
That's
are
what
banned from
Dr.
listening to kid
Phil is
podcasts.
for. Come on now. Dr. Phil fixed all that shit. When you listen to podcasts, you need to be escaping. You don't need to be listening to more shit about your kids.
Yeah. No, this is my time with my kids to listen to creepy shit about people getting cut in half. Come on
That was my biggest argument when I used to go out with my mom friends around the neighborhood. We would go out, and it was always a one-drink night, which I don't understand what that means. And B, all we did was talk about our fucking husbands and our kids. I'm like, I don't want to talk about all this shit. I'm getting away from it. Like, I don't want to hear about it. That's like a podcast. Get away from it. Listen to us.
Yes.
Like, I'm talking to the people that are listening to us. So they're like, no shit, Sherlock, I'm listening to you right now.
So what I'm saying is put us on, like, share with your friends, and so that we can be one of the most listened to podcasts in whatever state. I have no preference. Whatever random state you think we could be the king and queens of, we will do that. But we need your help.
I was super excited because remember when I had that call out because I wanted somebody to listen to us in Iceland? Not a week later, somebody listened to us in Iceland.
Woo-hoo!
So that was a little check.
Thank you, Iceland.
That was a check off my box, which I don't know what that means, but
I want to tick in your box. What?
Yardley's like, time to end this crazy. Hey, Yardley, did you get spaghetti?
Did you get spaghetti?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
These are important questions.
All right, let Yardley go eat his spaghetti because he got spaghetti today. He accidentally texted us his spaghetti, and then we said, yes, we want spaghetti. And then he was like,
you didn't share with the class, you guys.
Yeah, I'm definitely
gonna
get on that. Yeah, that was funny. But it happens. You can only be in so many groups until you fuck up.
As long as you're not that Christy bitch. Good God, I'm sick to listen to her shit. Oh, sorry, wrong post. I meant Christy McNichol from the 70s.
Yeah,
that's who I was talking about.
Fuck her. Krampus should get her too. Christy McNichol. Sorry if your name is Christy McNichol, by the way. I'm sure you're lovely.
Christy McNichol is awesome. I used to love her. So, Christy McNichol, if you're listening, hit us up.
That's going to be my librarian stripper name.
Christy McNichol. You don't know who she is, do you?
Go back. Oh, Christy McNichol book. I like it.
Moni doesn't know who Christy McNichol is. Oh,
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
That is an actual famous actress.
Oh, sorry,
from
Christy
the
McNichol.
70s and 80s.
I'm still adopting your name for my inevitable stripper moonlighting job. So.
Oh shit! All right, Christy McNichol, I think is a lesbian. I'm not positive.
Maybe she'll come see my show, and I'll be even more famous.
I'm sorry, Christy McNichol, if you're not.
I'm not.
I got the gaydar going for you, but anyway. All right, it's time to close this out. Black Dahlia's next. Everybody enjoy your Christmas vacations. Yardley and Moni, once again, thank you for the most wonderful co-pilots on this crazy-ass podcast journey. And we will see you guys in 2019. Got anything else to say, Yardley?
Absolutely not. I kind of echo all of your sentiments. Everybody be safe and keep on, creeping it real.
Nice.
No microwave fires. Enjoy your spaghetti.
Totally. Peace out, y'all.